Welcome to Cozy How To, your place for a snuggly warm learning experience. This is lesson number 8 for PowerPoint 2010. And in this lesson, I'm going to show you guys how to change the font face as well as the font size. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you want to do is open up a blank new document in PowerPoint. And once you do that, I want you to go ahead and click inside the Click to Add Title placeholder text box. And we're going to type in some sample text. In this case, I'm going to write sample text for PowerPoint. And once you write in that text, I want you to take notice of the blinking cursor at the end of this text. And the reason for that is because if you tried to change the font face or the font size with the blinking cursor inside the text box, nothing's going to happen. So let me show you an example of what I mean. With the blinking cursor inside, we're going to go ahead and go to the font category and then click on the drop down menu for fonts. And you'll notice that as I scroll through the different font faces, nothing happens in our workspace. Even if I select the font face, you'll notice that nothing changes in our workspace. So I'm going to show you guys how to change the font face properly. Let's go ahead and go to the text box placeholder here, and we're going to highlight the letter T and go back to the drop down menu for font faces. And if I place my cursor over any of the font faces, you'll see a live preview in your workspace. And if I left click and select one of these font faces, it's going to actually apply it in real time. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit Ctrl Z to undo that. And then I'm going to highlight the word PowerPoint. And then we're going to go ahead and change that font face. Once we click on the drop down menu, I'm going to go ahead and left click on one of the font faces, and you'll see that it changes it in our workspace now. And now I'm going to highlight the whole sentence, and I'm going to change the font face one more time. And when I left click on one of the font faces, you'll see that it applies it to the whole title. But what if you didn't want to highlight the information? Another option is to click on the dotted lines that surrounds the placeholder text box. And if I go ahead and change the font face, it changes it for the whole title. So keep in mind there are multiple ways for selecting your text and changing either individual parts or the full title. So now I'm going to show you how to change the font size. Pretty much the same principles apply. So let's go ahead and highlight the letter T and then go to the drop down menu for sizes. And you'll notice that as I place my cursor over the different sizes, it gives us a preview of what that looks like. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go to a blank spot in our workspace, and you'll see that it doesn't apply the font size change. But if we go back to the font size and we actually left click on one of the font sizes, just like before, it's going to apply those changes in our workspace. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and undo those changes that I just made. And once we undo that, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the whole title and then go to font size. And then again, you're going to see that it allows us to preview it as we scroll over the different font sizes. If we left click on it, it's going to make the changes for that in our workspace. So hopefully you're understanding the concept of how that works. So I hope this video was helpful in showing you how to change the font face as well as the font size. And if it was, don't forget to embed, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for future videos from Cozy How To, your place for a snuggly warm learning experience.